Welcome back, everyone. Second series of the day. It's another elimination round. It's F2K MyWay versus Creed.
What is that?
The Mistweaver Monk. That's what that is,
Yay!
What is that?
It's a Mistweaver Monk. It's Drainer on Mistweaver too. This is something we haven't seen one yet. So this is a first for Shadowlands, I do believe, in the AWC. So Drainer coming in on that Mistweaver Monk and not Protection Paladin. And 60s, I distinctly remember you saying he was playing the Protection Paladin. So it looks like they're actually going to be going after Drainer. Let's see if he can hold on. Big pressure early on. The Fortifying Brew. Drainer, of course, going to be using that Transcendence to get away. And we'll have to see Baka right now and Tren playing that Turbo Cleave, also going after the Hunter. And I feel like Hunters are very susceptible to just getting cleaved down right now. I think it's actually one of their weaknesses. So this could be a very good read here from Creed.
Whoa.
And already Casu forced to use basically every defensive cooldown he has available.
Goodness gracious, who needs CC when you have Ascendance? That was scary, man. I thought he was dead for sure. No turtle available for Katsu now. And he's just constantly getting chunked. It looks like they still want to go on a Drainer. There's the full maim onto him, but Katsu's got to push far to get on top of him. He popped that, shoot through wall mechanic earlier, and they didn't even get Cocoon. He's getting chunked down to half now. Tony's still connecting. Ore Mastery just healing through this. I'm not even sure how Mistweaver Monks are supposed to deal with this type of damage. I haven't seen him. Big ferocious bite chunks him down, and Drainer even using the in-cap to just get a breathing room. But Katsu now, he's the one who's going to need a breathing room. He has no turtle available, and Hydra has to position himself pretty aggressively to continue to keep healing the Hunter and keep this onslaught on Drainer.
Oh, Scatter Fear, stun on Drainer, triple crowd control. Mind Games gets interrupted by Baka, disrupting the damage. Ring of Peace drop down by Drainer, but Mind Games going to connect. Drainer needs to try and dispel this, or just line of sight, managing to remove Mind Games, getting behind the pillar, stabilizing. Do remember, Casto used a lot of defensive cooldowns, so they can set up on him. They're going after Tony instead, switching targets, maybe trying to bait a paint suppression. Now stunning up Casto in the leg sweep, trying to burst him down. Barrier gets dropped. Is it going to be enough to stabilize him? Bone Dust Brew from Drainer. He's actually running Necro Lord, trying to get some of the defensive bonuses that Covenant brings to the table, such as crowd control avoidance as he's casting Fleshcraft to try and immune an incoming stun, and it will make him more durable to damage as he'll gain shields when he dips low health. So a very interesting strategy, bringing that combination of class and Covenant to the table. So far, pretty far ahead on mana at this point as well. So long as Creed can just keep up their damage, I think they're going to close it. Hydra, I think, is drinking. He needs to be drinking at this point, but Casu doesn't have much. He gets Cat Totem behind the wall, charged by Tren, trying to close this one out. Casu gets pulled back to the pillar on his rapid fire, swapping a Drainer out in midfield. Blasting him out with a Serpent Sting. Is Tony going to be able to get in range? He's just waddling over there, trying to jump. Drainer ports the wild charge. Nice play by Drainer, but here comes the resonating arrow. That Necro Lord Covenant comes in clutch on the Convoke, the Spirits, triggering a shield just to buy time for Drainer to react. And Trinket, and will trade Life Cocoon. More than a fair trade. That was an all-in from F2K. Drainer's going to walk it off.
Yeah, that seems really good for Mistweaver Monks. A frictionless coating when he gets below 50% health. He gets a shield for 15% of his health. Mistweaver Monks very susceptible to dying in stuns, but when you have Orc, you're playing Sephuz, and you have the frictionless coating, it seems that has kind of... That's something that they haven't been able to really push through at this point in the game. Mana looking good for Drainer. Right now, F2K MyWay taking some pressure. Casso in the middle of the map. Hydra's mana is struggling. I don't anticipate that he's really going to be able to go for drinks in a matchup like this. As long as Tren and Baka can continue this offensive pressure, just get at the consistent damage, help keep Drainer alive, I feel like this is going really well here for Creed.
I absolutely agree. I mean, they're winning in every conceivable way. And the win condition is Drainer right here, right now. No Trinket available, no Cocoon. He's going to get out of that DR stun. But Tren's the one on the back foot now. He's down to half health. He still has that dive of the sword. He's just going to trade it. I mean, this is the first time they tab targeted to him. I really think Drainer needs to be the kill target, but time is running out for F2K MyWay.
Big Stormbolt on Tony. Huge damage from Tren here. Tony's down at half. Hydra's got very little mana. Baka interrupts the healer. Tren swaps over to the healer, trying to go after Hydra a bit. Paralyzed on Tony, stopping those feral off heals for a moment, but they don't want to overextend. They're going to go back onto Casso, get ready to protect Drainer. Tren is a target now with no die by the sword. Double fear on the DPS, scatter on the Mistweaver. Are they going to set up on Drainer out of the scatter? They can't. This is a Shadow Fiend. Going to break the crowd control. We see Drainer roll up for a leg sweep on the Trinket. Nice punish by Drainer. Tony takes a huge amount of damage here. Gets Ring of Peace out of the barrier. Trying to clutch on the edge of it. Gets storm bolted up by Tren. Tony's just in bear form, praying that he survives. Frenzy Regen keeps him going a little bit longer. Now they're swapping damage over to Baka, and that's a free casting Hunter. Aim shot after aim shot in the midfield. This could be risky for Creed, but now they're going after the Hunter a bit, trying to protect him and keep him going. Berserk's pop, Convoke, big hit from Tony. Oh, Parallax from Drainer. MVP Paralyzed saves Baka. I think he was going to get Ferocious bit maybe 5 more times at the end of that Convoke, but Baka's alive. Stormbolt on Tony. Hydra tries to keep him going. Gets wind sheared. These wind shears from Baka have been deadly. Drainer picks up in the back line. This is back and forth. Mana is starting to even out. 5.5 minutes in.
Certainly is. I mean, with Drainer's
I blinked.
Doesn't
What
really
happened?
have too much emergency healing left. He was having to trade out a lot of enveloping mist, and that's where Mistweavers really have to push through. But a huge hit coming in from F2K MyWay. It is absolutely dropped Baka immediately. I really thought there was going to be a nice pick coming in here from Creed, but F2K MyWay, they stabilize, they kind of get their bearings in the middle of the match, and things started looking better and better for them as the match did progress.
They make something out of nothing. It's crazy. You can just tell how much confidence that this jungle has with their healer and being able to position in the communications. I do like that they started switching to the DPS. Early on, I saw that, they had all of their cooldowns and, Hydra's mana was becoming an issue. They didn't have a lot of defensives earlier, but when they swapped to the DPS, Hydra's positioning just got way safer. But I don't know how much impact that really had on this crazy burst that they just did onto Baka. He still has wall available here at this point, and Drainer's doing a great job, trying to avoid the damage in the line of sight. But pretty soon in this replay, imagine, there you go, a maim out of line of sight. Drainer barely having time to react. He did trinket, immediately try to get over there, but goodness gracious, I don't blame anyone from not being able to react fast enough to that damage.
All right, well, game number 1 victory, F2K MyWay in this best of 5 series. This is an elimination round. Both of these guys trying to get enough points to make it to that circuit series. But man, the thing I love about Drainer is this guy is always being so creative. He was the only one keeping Holy Priest alive last year in BFA. We saw him do the Parrot Paladin, and now here he is on the Mistweaver. Not something that we expected anybody to play today, Supatis. Do you expect that to be another choice that they do in game number 2?
I kind of want to ask him, does he do this because he likes being a hipster, or does he do this because he's trying to BM people? Is he just like, if I can beat you as a Mistweaver, you don't deserve me at my Holy Paladin or something? Is he BMing people? You can't.
Wait, it'd be like, if you don't love me at my Holy Paladin, you don't deserve me at my Mistweaver. Is that what
Other way
Drainer's
around,
saying?
yeah.
Or yeah, other way around. He's sipping his cold brew coffee, hipster with his Mistweaver choices. Yeah.
I don't even know if he talked to his team before that. He was probably just like, yeah, let's go. I'll heal your turbo. And they just joined and instantly queued. I feel like we've all been there before, where your friend invites you to some alt games and you're like, wait, you said you were gonna heal me and you didn't say you're 190 item level, dude. Hello. But with that being said, the score, I really do feel like Creed had the momentum. They had just every win condition just appeared to be in Creed's favor until the very end there. But that's why I love watching jungle.
I can't help but feel like Creed, they had the magic ticket to win, which was just sit on the Hunter. Sit on the Hunter, disarm him, Stormbolt him, stop his damage. As soon as they went on the Feral, the game completely got unraveled. I mean, it was Casso at the end with a big rapid fire that actually was the thing that took down Baka. So I feel like Creed, they have the right answer. And Drainer on the Mistweaver monk, I mean, we're making a lot of jokes, but at the same time, I really like the build that he's playing, especially with the Necrolord. I feel like he's really durable to going down in stuns, and if they can't take him down, and if they just sit on the Hunter, I feel like F2K MyWay, their offensive capabilities are limited. So Creed, I'm feeling good for them in this matchup. F2K MyWay, they only really have one composition that they can run, so it's not going to be a surprise. But they're taking their time, really thinking about it. What are they going to lock in here on Hook Point?
What are we going to play?
Dude, mind games.
Yeah, what are we going to play? Yeah. What if they lock in something magical?
There's nothing.
Something different.
There's nothing
no
else
way
they can lock in.
That's what you said about Drainer and Prop Paladin.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I thought that was just out
man.
of brand for him. He's just gonna play Prop Paladin the whole time to build his brand or something. But now Mistweaver, I mean,
He's rebranding. He's a new
Yeah.
man.
Prop Paladin.
Well, I think the Mistweaver's helping his brand too. I really like the idea of going on the Hunter too, because he also has in cap that's undispellable that he can put onto Tony. Whenever Tony overextends, gets behind the pillar, he just tosses an in cap on him and then just line of sights him. Oh, he connects again. Hey, here's Ring of Peace. The Hunter can just shoot through the wall though.
Yeah, that's
So,
what ended the game, I think, at the end.
Yeah, it was. I
through
really
wall.
feel like if they just focus on stopping mind games and they even Drainer maybe play grapple weapon and just spam disarm, spam grapple, Stormbolt on Casu, never let him aim shot, never let him rapid fire. I feel like Creed has a really they're going to be feeling pretty safe in the matchup.
What do you lose for grapple weapon as a Mistweaver?
He's playing
He's
counteract
using-
magic.
He's playing counteract magic, which is it's really good for doing miss healing, but
Like it's purged.
yeah.
And also, if you guys are watching from home and you want to check out that build yourself of what Jainer is doing, you can, of course, go to awc.gcd.tv and check that out, or look at the bottom bar down below and you can see everything that he is running. 40 seconds left for him to choose his composition. If they do run the same one again, Ben, how do you expect them to do here on Hook Point? What are those setups going to be looking like for this team?
Well,
There you go.
okay.
Whoa,
What?
whoa.
Never mind.
Wait,
Never
back.
mind.
this is they're playing double
Oh,
healer.
they're playing double.
They're playing
healer.
double healer, basically. Yeah, Prop Paladins
God.
definitely
What?
have the
This-
throughput of a
this
healer.
is-
Dude, this is a nightmare for jungle. I feel.
Yeah, this
This
is
is
an
checkmate.
absolute-
This is a nightmare for
checkmate.
most people.
Yeah, this is a nightmare for anyone, but it's especially a nightmare for a composition that has to rely on setups and you have a Discipline Priest mana bar. I think this is rough. If Creed rotates, I mean, let's be honest. Let's just sit down, talk about it. We've seen Drainer heal to 50% dampening by himself. Now he has a Resto Shaman on his team. Like, how is F2K MyWay going to take anyone down? Like, I don't know how they're going to do it. I really don't.
How long do you think this game's going to go then?
If Creed loses this game, I'm renaming.
Very long or
Feed.
very fast?
I'm renaming Creed to Feed if they lose this game.
Dude, if they do
This-
lose this game, imagine what kind of momentum shift that would give MyWay's like mental state. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, right now, how do you think they're feeling mentally?
Exactly. I think just seeing this locked in at all, FDK MyWay is just like, oh my god, like they're sitting there frustrated.
Do they even
Probably
have
right
a
now. I
build
wonder-
in mind that they can do? Like what? I just
Creed.
no F2K MyWay. Like I'm trying to think if there's anything that just could randomly counter this, and it's just like, what do you kill? The shaman with a prot healing him, the warrior with a prot healing him in defensive stance, the prot
I
with a
think
shaman
you-
healing him and an
I think you-
intervene. I feel like
you
warrior is
have
the
to
only
go-
one, right?
well,
Warrior's
you
the only
have
one that
to go
can
the
die.
healer, right? You like maybe go on the shaman where you
Which
kinda,
one?
They're all instances. They're all instant casts, I guess. Like
You could double
like Riptide or Shield.
fear.
Totems. Oh my gosh, dude. I don't
Yeah.
know.
This is
Like,
gonna be spoopy.
which healer do you go after, though? That's the problem.
I would want shaman, but I feel like he's gonna position it in a way where you don't want shaman. I don't know, man.
I feel like jungle's
And,
really
you know-
easy to heal through if when you're like a shaman being targeted by jungle. That's like one of the easier scenarios as a shaman player. I feel like I've never seen a shaman stressed when Hunter Feral's attacking them. I don't,
Yeah, that's
especially with
probably
a
fair.
prot and a warrior. I don't think. To me, it's the warrior. Somehow crowd control the prot
has-
and crowd control the shaman and
Oh,
kill the
man.
warrior. That way you remove intervene as a defensive. You also remove all the like
Yep.
disarms and the storm bolts. I think warrior's the only one that can die. Try and mind games the prot pally maybe as CC, and then when you trap the shaman, mind games the prot can't heal, something like that. But they're on a clock, and it's a really fast clock.
All right, well, let's see what FDK MyWay can do against this team here. 1-0 versus Creed.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. Who are they going after very early on? Let's get Trap, a little drop on Drainer. Scatter now on Baka. What can they get done? Drainer going to be getting the Hammer of Justice here onto Hydra, and they're just going after this Hunter once again. Train the Hunter, stop his damage. Big damage out onto Tren immediately. Let's sacrifice trades from Drainer. And like I said, I mean, Drainer, he's healed to 50% dampening by himself. He's a wrecking ball right now, just knocking everyone around, putting up big damage, and Hydra forced to trade out the Rapture as a response. The one great thing about the Protection Paladin is when you are on that Divine Steed, you are immune to crowd control, and that is absolutely devastating. And Drainer does a really good job of avoiding that crowd control. So I don't know how F2K MyWay is going to be able to set this up, but they're going to have to find a way.
Drainer so far is playing very different to how he was playing solo healing as a prop paladin earlier. He is in their face. He is confident. And I would be too with this composition. You are going, I mean, he just shoved Bubble. What? Wait, I don't know if Creed is trolling or if they are just that confident, but maybe they are.
No,
Drainer looking to go for CC on the Hydra. No, he's knocking him around. Oh my God, that has to be the most frustrating thing ever.
Drainer's baiting a swap to him because he's running Holy Shield, so he like reflects damage back to attackers. So he's actually baiting them to attack him so they take more damage. I think is what he's trying to do because he shouldn't die even without Divine Shield. Maybe he regrets it. He might regret it, but he's baited the swap. They're attacking Drainer. Now it's whether or not he regrets it. Oh, goodness.
There's the link.
Down. I think he regrets it a little bit. I'm pretty sure at this point he regrets it a little bit. Didn't
That's
get
an
too
overlap,
much
man.
value. And look at Hydra's mana. He's actually doing really well.
Yeah. I guess that's the one thing you kind of underestimate. If you don't have good counter pressure, if you're not actually getting aggressive in the matchup, and Drainer's, you know, positioning offensively and just throwing out his bubble all willy-nilly, then it does make him a decent target in this matchup. He did get low there. Obviously, a lot of cooldowns did trade out. And now Creed, they can't be feeling too confident to actually push forward. They really don't have too many cooldowns. Drainer's going to try to continue the push, but so far, Casu's been doing a really good job actually kiting, maneuvering, getting away. He's going to get knocked away, then rooted. Drainer still just continuing to lead the charge. Potential Hammer of Justice here on the Hydra with a Hex, but he does get the powered barrier down. So nice barrier. Drainer once again trying to knock them out, but I think he's actually on diminishing return. Casu's had enough, so he won't be knocked out of that protective barrier. Now full trap does land. Drainer forced the line of sight, but there's really nowhere to run and hide. Let's see if Casu can get the damage out. It looks like Intimidating Shout will just trade. And right now, Creed, they're playing very defensive here.
And rightfully so. I mean, that was a pretty solid setup. Hydra, you know, poured it in with that Venthyr ability, got a fear, but it was pretty PR or just really slow in duration. They could not get any momentum. Now they're getting aggressive. Hydra going back to the position in the corner of the map, forcing these guys to have to run really far to get that CC. There's the Hodge. They're trying to connect onto Katsu, but it looks like he's gonna be okay. He's at half health. He's kiting the best he can. And I can't help but feel like maybe Creed's win condition is gonna go into dampening. And now Hydra is starting to feel the mana push, but not nearly as much as I thought it would. Whenever I see Drainer pushing in and it's starting to get damage done, when I see that Wake of Ashes animation, it does chunk. So he is mostly utility, I'd say. He's definitely slowing down the game on this prop paladin, but he does have some damage to push through, and that's gonna be a really big deal. The deeper into dampening we get, which I'm inevitably thinking that we are going to get there.
Crowd control initiated here. Baka in a trap. Drainer just tanking him out here as a prop paladin should. Bop's out of the stun. I mean, he's got a lot of cooldowns coming up, so he's just trading them here to try and get aggressive. This is Resonating Arrow. Casu gets disarmed. He's not going to get any damage out of that blue circle at all, thanks to the plays of Tren here. Mana down below half now for Hydra. Not a good position. I think they're relying on a setup to win. I don't think they'll be able to out-dampen Creed's composition here. However, there is still a substantial amount of healing coming from Tony as well. Likely Hydra is just relying on Tony to heal, and Hydra's just focusing on Atonement to maximize his mana. However, Tony's mana is starting to get low. Might not have too many more regrowths left to go here as Hydra sits through a Hammer of Justice. They're just committed to Drainer, but again, they'll attack into a Holy Shield. Drainer's going to reflect a lot of damage and get tons of value if he's the target. And now his defensive cooldowns are starting to become more and more available despite that scary moment earlier on in the game. Tony just lobbing out regrowths. Again, it's basically Tony is the healer for Hydra because he cannot afford to press Shadow Mend basically at all. If he presses Radiance or Shadow Mend, he's going to run out of mana. So Tony will act as the Radiance with regrowth, and then Hydra will just spam Smite, Mind Blast, and Penance, and those are very low mana cost spells, and he should be able to keep his mana going quite healthy so long as Drainer's team can't get enough burst damage to overwhelm that healing rotation, and they've been doing that very well so far to have over 50% of their mana and pressure at the same time against the prop paladin. I was expecting them to get steamrolled, be completely out of mana, and all dead at this point, but maybe they've got practice. I don't know how many prop paladins there are on the EU ladder. I thought tank meta was an NA thing, but maybe they've got practice into tanks on EU because they're looking pretty polished so far.
Yeah, it's definitely not looking too bad. I like what Hydra's doing. He's trading out cooldowns like Rapture just to avoid using mana, basically. There hasn't been a moment where F2K MyWay is really in danger, but still, Rapture trades out, and that's just going to allow Hydra some efficiency through his healing, really just not using the Radiances like you said. But as dampening goes higher and higher, inevitably, Hydra will have to heal more, and I don't think Creed is going to win the game outside of Hydra being out of mana. I think that's the win condition. Get Hydra out of mana, and once he gets out of mana, that's when you can push forward and actually take someone down. So Creed, they just have to do a really solid job defensively. I think they can win this game. Drainer positioning, very defensive right now, just avoiding stuns. With the Divine Steed, Hydra throwing in a Mind Games. Going to land on not too much damage there on Trend. Drainer trades out the Sacrifice, now looking to get aggressive here on Casu, but still, Casu doing such a great job in this game. Kiting, Trend really kind of struggling to stay on target.
I think the time is running out for F2K MyWay. I like the positioning. I love their the resilience to keep their mana going. I love how much throughput Hydra's getting with his smites, but I think they need to start getting a little bit more, I don't know, reckless if they want to catch some momentum. Maybe they're waiting for dampening too. Baka at completely high mana. There's the trap, the Cyclone onto Drainer. This is the damage on the Trend. Die by the Sword is going to be forced to trade. The fear out of it from Hydra. This is the aggression that I wanted to see, but it looks like they're out of CC. As I say that, the bash goes out onto Baka. Drainer not in any CC, and Trend is A-okay. It's those type of aggressive goes that I want to see more and more of. But maybe they'll be even more potent. We're getting deeper into dampening, 14% here. And Hydra, I know he's feeling it at this point. Baka, on the other hand, he is completely fine on mana. Creed definitely knows that the momentum is in their favor. This is definitely their game to lose.
Let's see if they can keep it going. Stun on Hydra. Tony's looking for Cyclones. Gets it on Trend. Not going to be finding a kill without their Warrior. Going after the Shaman maybe and dampening. Remember, Tony's playing Night Fae, and as a Druid, you've got Convoke the Spirits. This is a powerful cooldown where you channel 16 random Druid spells. You get a lot of ferocious bites and just absolutely kill somebody outright. So Tony, I think, is going to be the main win condition for F2K MyWay, both defense and offense between his Regross and Convoke. Look at this pressure on Trend, and Drainer makes a trade just in time. Actually, Disorienting Roar onto the Guardian of Forgotten Queens. Nice play, removing that immunity. Swapping over to Drainer for a moment in that Maim stun. Tony trying to bait interrupts, gets Wind Shear on the Cyclone out of the way, looks for another one. Not able to find it, it looks like at this point. Hydra was trying to drink. He's still at 50% mana 8 minutes in. I feel like they actually have potential. I mean, dampening is a bit of a double-edged sword. Baka pre-flesh crafting incoming crowd control, but gets interrupted into a Cyclone. Tony is playing excellently in this game. He's certainly not letting the tank kind of get to him. That can happen to you a lot when you're fighting these tank specs, is that you're just like, come on, I want the game to end. But Tony is still taking this very seriously and playing really well.
I can't help but smile every time Drainer's just on his Divine Steed like a wrecking ball, knocking everyone around.
I'm torrid at that, dude.
Oh, Convoke! Here's Convoke!
Big damage! That was Convoke as well, as massive damage coming from Casu, the True Shot Aura. And it looks like they do manage to hold on. Intimidating Shout gets traded out by Tren, just using his crowd control to survive. Just survive as long as you can, but it's like you said, dampening is a double-edged sword here in this matchup. Drainer, a lot of his utility comes in from throwing in those off heals, so I feel like if F2K MyWay, they can hold on, keep their mana good. They're not going to go down to this composition more than likely until Hydra's completely tapped on mana. So still a little bit of a way to go. They got some breathing room. I'd say this game probably goes to around 40-50% dampening with the way it is playing out. But Creed still just has so many cooldowns that they can rotate through. That was the big hit that F2K MyWay does have available. And I feel like Creed is going to be feeling relatively safe here for the near future, at least for a couple more minutes. As long as they don't kind of trip up and they just trade their defensive cooldowns appropriately. They got some time here to get some pressure. But Casu, just look at the way he's kiting. It's just so difficult for Trend to actually stay on target on that Marksmanship Hunter. And as a result, their pressure has been really, really limited. And Hydra's been able to hold on to that mana. Casu now getting bursted down. Aspect of the Turtle available. If he does need it, he gets disarmed. Damage looking to be avoided here. Casu looking to get aggressive, but that disarm paying dividends right now here for Tren. Casu really wants to get some damage. Rapid Fire does go out. Do they have a stun? Trent getting bursted down in defense mode, throwing out a Stormbolt on Tony, and he will end up surviving.
Yeah, before that go, they actually landed a full trap onto that was just broken or either dispelled. It's so hard to get good cross CC on this composition on Creed. These guys are disruptive, they're pros, they're positioning well. It looks like they're going to try to get another push on the Trend with a bash on the Drainer and a fear on the Baka. Now Drainer out of that CC, and Tren looks to be A-okay. It's one thing to, like, you know, try to find a window against double healer. It's another thing to try to find a window against, like, these 3 classes. All these classes in the side of Creed are really good against melee damage, and that's mainly what you're seeing from this jungle at this point. We're getting deeper into dampening. Hydra's mana still is hovering pretty healthily, I'd say, for how long this game is going, but maybe that's just because it's just a single DPS, really, on the side of Creed. The preemptive dome goes down as Tren pushes in. He looks like he wants to chunk down Katsu, looking like a chicken Katsu at like 30% health there. He still has Turtle. They still have all their buttons available, but the longer this game goes, the harder and harder the win conditioning for MyWay is.
Katsu is just playing with Tren at this point. He's avoiding him so excellently. Just watch the Hunter line of sighting, but he gets caught by Drainer in a Hammer of Justice. Good punish by Drainer. Tony intercepts. Katsu going to disengage back away from the fight once again. With dampening at 40%, the healing from the Prop Paladin and the Feral Druid, most notably, is going to be a lot lower here. Curious to see if they even go after Hydra a bit. Just poking him, his entire team whittled down. He cannot ever press Radiance or Shadowman. He'll just completely run out of mana. He's been using Solace as much as possible, mashing out Smites and Penance in the backline on that fence to try and maximize his atonement healing and just try and net a kill and dampening with surprise burst damage from the Feral Druid. That's really their only win condition. They've lined up a freezing trap. They've isolated Tren. They get die by the sword, and Katsu is avoiding Tren. It's basically stay away from the warrior. You don't want that warrior anywhere near you, as that's going to be all of the damage coming out from Creed, and Katsu has avoided him so well. Tren is actually attacking a different target, trying to charge in, gets disengaged away from. Disorienting roar from Tony stalls Tren's assault once again. Katsu has such good positioning. Resonating arrow, pew pew around the corner through the wall. Rapid fire. Tren's trying to chase him down. Katsu gets knocked away. Tren gets bursted down to half again. He storm bolts him, but Katsu line of sights the storm bolt. They just can't touch this Hunter. It's normally very difficult to kite a Venthyr warrior, especially as a marksmanship Hunter. But Katsu has been playing so well in these final moments. Is it going to be enough? We're at 50% dampening. They're working with 10% mana. Is it going to be enough is now the question. This is the final test.
Oh!
He gets low. Tren, he went down to 5% health. The Spiritling Totem does drop out. Drainer, this is his Avenging Wrath. They're trying to get aggressive. Hydra's got almost no mana left. There's pretty much no defensive cooldowns. That was his Rapture. Still Pain Suppression, big Mind Games potentially coming in. Drainer does manage to land the Hammer of Justice, but Katsu's been doing such a good job avoiding Tren in this matchup. That really has been the story. And right now, taking a little bit of burst. Baka, really not too much healing. There's no Ascendance, there's no Spiritling Totem. And this is where dampening is really setting in for both these teams. You can see anyone really is a target. Katsu getting super aggressive. Tren, can he get away? He needs to range the Hunter, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it. This is die by the sword, avoiding some of that damage, but Tren is very, very scared at this point of the game. He gets knocked away. Can they stay on target? Katsu once again doing a great job kiting. He is going to be able to get away, and Tren just can't. Finally getting freedom. The root goes out onto Katsu as well, but using his roar, he is going to be able to get away for a moment, but this uptime from this warrior, Katsu, all game, he's been doing such a good job kiting, going for a big aim shot right now. Tren's going to be tricketing out, looking to get aggressive. 55% dampening. Drainer and Tren, they just need to stay on target. Katsu still has the aspect of the turtle, but the crowd control from F2K MyWay still going out. Tren getting low. There's no cooldowns left, and they might be able to do it here.
They absolutely might. This is crazy. Who cares about mana when you're at 56% dampening? Trap goes out on the Baka. Tren's still in a lot of trouble. This surely has to be it. The Dome is keeping their team aggressive here. Tren, he is so close to death, and that will do it. I can't believe it. F2K MyWay. I mean, on paper, when I look at this, I would say, oh yeah, they just got hard countered. They lost in the draft. I was proven wrong, and now they are up 2-0 against Creed. That has got to be a good feeling.
I got to correct you. I got to correct you. I got you correct you. Feed.
Yeah, please.
It's not Creed.
It's Feed. It's not Creed.
I don't know, man. You know, I feel like the matchup changes when you have Katsu on your team. That was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, Katsu just had such great kiting, such good positioning in this match. I almost felt bad for Tren. I mean, he's, he was really struggling to stay on target. Katsu doing such a great job. I mean, 55% dampening. You can see Baka, Drainer, really no defensive cooldowns left. Tren as well. There's no die by the sword. And Hydra, he just goes for it. The smites come in. He ends up landing a Mind Games and a Shadow or Death, which I think actually closed out the game, trading out the barrier. thinking maybe I go for a drink here, but they had the crowd control, they had the damage. Hydra gets sheared, and I do think it is a Mind Games Shadow or Death that closes it out. Big damage coming in from Hydra, and yeah, they had the presence of mind. Hydra 0 mana left. They were almost there. They were almost at the finish line, but Casu
Trainer
Tony,
out
and
healed
Hydra.
Baka. Should have
Look
got their mate.
Look at Drainer's damage. He
Goodness.
matched
Whoa.
Trent's damage. Is that from kiting or?
Well, I mean,
is that from,
Hydra's
like-
damage too. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Oh wow.
I mean, everyone in
That's
this
crazy.
game almost did 1 million damage except Baka. The rest of Shaman's like, I'd healed the least.
Dude.
I did the least damage.
I did not have faith. I need to apologize to MyWay. I did not have faith. When I saw Hydra like sitting max range, I'm like, dude, this is not gonna go well for you. But I was sorely wrong. Once you get to that deep in dampening, turns out 2 DPS and a chicken katsu kiter. That's all you need.
Is that all you can think about right now?
I want it so bad.
I feel like
Trent later today.
Trent should change a talent. If he just he wasn't running charge execute. I don't think he expected to get kited. I feel like he should drop
Yeah.
duel. He's the target. He just drop duel. If he had charge execute, there's no way that Hunter kites him. I feel like
Maybe he
it's
thought Pharaoh was
basically
kill
impossible.
target. Yeah.
I feel like they threw a little bit in that regard. Like, yeah, the roots, purges on the Hunter would help a lot for them getting uptime, the charge execute as well. I feel like they had everything they needed except the ability to actually attack Casu. that was the missing part of the equation. If they had more uptime, I feel like the comp that they're running is really strong into jungle.
I would not
Yeah,
want to be
well-
the DPS there. That's too much pressure.
Well, we're going to find out soon here if Creed decides to go with this composition once again. It's going to be their map choice again. So, you know, if they decide to go again on a sort of a smaller map, I'm definitely curious to see if they run that same composition. Because, I mean, based on everything you guys are saying, that really should have worked.
Yeah,
Them
it
just
should have.
literally changing one talent and they won the game. If he was charge execute, they won that game.
They don't have.
Like,
Yeah.
What map did they go now? Did they just go ruins? I mean, I feel like
I don't know
even when they
about
were on
Ruins.
top of them,
no,
they
I
were-
think Tiger's Peak, or not Tiger's Peak. I'm mixing up Black or Cold. I think Black or Cold or Dalaran are probably the best for them.
Yeah, we're going to find out soon as this draft gets started.
this is lower bracket too, y'all. Like, so
Yeah.
Creed might be throwing, Creed might be memeing, but I mean, they're on match point and they're about to be eliminated. And you know, they
Yeah.
don't have a super huge amount of points either. They really do need this.
Yep. Top 8 teams from both regions move forward to the circuit series, and this is this is cup number 3, and then there's only one more cup after that. So David is absolutely right. These guys need to get the best placement possible in order to get those points up, and it's really coming down to the wire for a lot of these teams here as we move towards the end of this first half of the season. F2K MyWay not going to be locking in their composition, and they are going to be going to Dollar and Sewers, Ben.
Yep, Dollar and Sewers, a nice small map. And, there's not too many boxes and line of sight points for Casu to take advantage of. I mean, he did a really good job using the resonating arrow so he could shoot from line of sight and actually get a lot of damage out onto Tren in that matchup. I think on Dollar and Sewers, that's a little bit more tricky to pull off. So I like the idea. I feel like Creed is setting themselves up to play the exact same matchup. F2K MyWay, once again, they're not locking in. They're jungle. They're just going to be waiting, maybe they can Creed second guess themselves a little bit, but I think we all know what's coming. It is going to be that jungle cleave. So yeah, what will Creed do? Are they going to be confident once again? I really feel like Trent does need to switch up that talent. It makes a huge difference. He was kited for, I feel like, over 50% of that matchup. He was not on that Hunter, and I think if he actually was on target, the Hunter is a great target. Hydra's going to have to burn through mana really, really quickly. And F2K MyWay, they were at kind of that point of the game where it was do or die. Hydra had no mana left. There was no defensive cooldowns. If Creed had survived that setup, it could have been their game.
1 minute 40 for Creed to lock in there. I'm curious if they're going to change. I don't know. Like, this can't be like a composition, or maybe it is, that they just they got a lot of games on ladder odd. I know I wouldn't want to play a composition on ladder. That sounds like it would be a sleeper fest. But so I gotta think. You're down 2-0. I would not blame them for a different comfort pick.
Just play
I
Holy
really
Pally.
wouldn't.
Turbo.
Yeah, Holy Pally Turbo would be insane here if they had.
You don't have to play Mistweaver or Prod. You can just play Holy Pally. Like F2K MyWay have unlocked Drainer's final form. I think at this point, they beat the Mistweaver. They beat the double healer. Drainer now should unleash his final form, which is Holy Paladin. No, okay, it's Holy Paladin solo healer.
I like this. I like this. This looks super duper strong in my opinion.
Okay. Creed
How often did you say this looks super duper powerful ever?
I don't know, man.
Do you disagree, Supties? What do you think about this comp?
It's just like what it's unprecedented. Like I'm trying to think of at any point in ever the history of the game, like a comp gets locked in, and I would say, "Wow, that looks so amazing." I would never think of this.
You got Mage, you got Ellie, you got good disruption, you got good control. I would say it even lends itself to some good positioning. And I'm just assuming Drain is basically a Holy Paladin. Oh yeah, that was their map choice too.
We'll see. Listen, I mean, just look at this team though, and what they've done. I feel like we're always doing this to them, where we don't think they're going to be able to pull something off, and then they you know, like they had 3 reverse sweeps for the last cup, for cup number 2 in AWC, and then already also on that note, I feel like Baka is proving to be a really important 4th member for this team too.
He's played the entire Shaman class in this series. He played Enhance in the first game, Resto in the second game, and Ellie in the 3rd game. I don't think that's ever happened.
I mean, I
recall, no.
I'm a Baka fan. Don't get me wrong. Like I was watching a lot of them. Integrity Damp, a little bit more integrity on Creed. I think is going a long way. But on paper right now, he is 0-2 for his team. So you know that's in the back of your mind. If you've ever like competed in anything, you know you're gonna be paranoid to make sure that you are performing for your team. And you know, even if the team is completely aligned and agreed, you know, this is a team effort, this is a team decision. Baka, of course, is going to feel the pressure to make sure to prove to his new teammates that, you know, he earned a spot.
Yeah. Well, game number 3 here. This is Creed's chance to reverse sweep, which we have seen them do many times before. So it's certainly possible, especially with their new all-star 4th player here, Baka. And I don't know, Ven, do you want to make any predictions on this one? Is this going to be a 3-0 for F2K?
I feel like it is.
I think it is too.
I think F2K, I feel like jungle is actually really good into this composition. Like, can't really hex. So here's the problem is, you can dispel hex for Tony. Tony's immune to polymorph. So getting like cross crowd control out is actually really difficult. And I don't know. Yeah. I really feel like Saza's going to get torn apart in this matchup by Tony and Kasu. I think Drainer's going to really struggle to heal through it. But at the same time, we kind of saw how much damage Drainer was able to put out in that last match. So yeah, the damage from Drainer, Saza, and Baka is going to be quite high. They do have setup potential, but it's about if they can execute, can they actually get the triple crowd control, isolate a target, and burst them down? I'd say the one nice thing about Hunters also is you have Roar of Sacrifice, which is super effective against a Fire Mage. It's really, really effective. So if they can't get that pesky pet out of the way, and they can just trade Sacrifice for every combustion, I don't know if Creed's going to have the damage to take anyone down.
Well, I was going to say, luckily for you guys, I'm going to predict 3-2 in favor of Creed because I can make a fool of myself. Yeah, I think they're going to take the series, man. I really I think this is hear me out.
Okay.
So when reverse sweeps happen, it's usually because, you know, a team figured out a composition you know, or strategy that the other team just like can't overcome. And I feel like MyWay, they have this one composition. They do it incredibly well, but Creed has so much, and they're always so confident with their ability. I mean, we never see Mistweaver Monk, and then we see Drainer come in with a Mistweaver Monk, and he's in capping and Ring of Peace in the Feral Druid like he's been doing this like all season. You know what I mean? Maybe he has. He probably has like a gajillion ults. I got faith. I got faith in Creed. I mean, I had just said they reverse sweep a bajillion times before. There's one composition that they got to figure out. They got one puzzle to deal with. They could do it.
It's true. Yeah. Kept doing it cup number 2. No reason they can't do it here against Creed. F2K MyWay, you know, a team of veterans. We've seen them playing together for quite some time too as this jungle composition. So it's certainly going to be difficult for them if they want to turn it around. But All right, so we've got D Machine with the reverse sweep, then with
Yeah,
the
if I-
3-0 from FTK.
If they
What
do
about
this,
you,
guys,
Soup
I'm
Teas?
3-0 for F2K, I think.
I'm
Watching
3-0
them
for
play that
F2K,
last
no.
game, if they Creed should have just played Prot Warrior again. Like they only lost because of their talents. Like if they had uptime, they won that game like 6 minutes faster. I think they could have killed them 6 minutes faster and not have lost. Just with Trend playing Charge Execute and getting better uptime. I felt like Venthyr got no value without Charge Execute. Like that's the main reason that build is so good, and he doesn't have the talent. So switching to this seems like really just YOLO out of left field. Like the first game, I was
That's
like,
his whole team, though.
Even the map doesn't make any sense.
the map doesn't make
the
any
map
sense.
does not
Like,
make any sense.
game 1 was good. I was like, Mistweaver Turbo, that could work. And then they didn't play it out, and they're like, oh, we're just gonna play Prot Warrior. I'm like, okay, fine, yeah, that should win. Like, okay, you don't need to try and make the turbo better. You can just play that and win. Then that didn't work, and they're playing wrong build. And then they go to this on Dalaran. Like, this is the biggest feed I've ever seen. Like, it started out really good, and then they just didn't run with it or try and correct it. They've just been like flip flopping, like, nah, this one, no, that one, no, this one. Like,
They got gibbed on the Grand Arena. They played the wrong talents of a comp they've never played before. Man, I don't know.
It's
got
and
polish.
I think this is sometimes what happens. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it really feels like Creed is making some huge mistakes in this series.
Yeah.
And I feel like a part of that is having a fourth. Like they've got themselves in a situation now where there's so many comp options. They're just kind of throwing anything they can, and like throw whatever you can at the wall, see what lands, what sticks, and unfortunately for them, I feel like in this particular matchup, it's not working out for them, because I do think their blind pick was a great option. They could have just played a little bit better. And if they were only a 3-man roster, they'd be forced to adapt and play better instead of just trying a new composition. And even like Sid said, playing the Warrior Prot Paladin, if they just were forced to play that again and just change up their talents, they would probably be winning as well. But we'll kind of see. If the thing I don't like about this is it just makes me feel like they're not confident in any matchup. When you're changing the thing is, F2K MyWay, they only have one comp. They have the jungle. So Creed, in theory, should have had some time to think about what do we want to play against this, what should we practice into this, and the fact that they're changing every game just makes me think they have no idea what they want to do.
That's a super good point. We saw that when we first introduced 4-player rosters too, that when players, they didn't know how to take full advantage of it. And it's because there was that huge factor that not only do you need to be comfortable with that class that you're playing, but also you need to synergize with your teammates, and you need to synergize with that composition. And when they pull out crazy stuff like that, you got to wonder how many games do they have in this comp? Probably not a lot.
Yeah, well, we're going to find out soon here. It sounds like there's a little bit of a delay. And, it's funny, I was going to mention this earlier, but last time when the games were taking a little bit longer to start, our head admin apparently had to take a little bit of extra time to actually confirm with Creed that was in fact the composition that they wanted to play. So maybe that's what's happening here, I'm not sure. But we are going to get these teams loaded up in the game soon here. So thank you everyone in chat for being patient with us while we get these players ready to go here. But game number 3, Creed only one chance left to stay in this tournament. And, if they lose this next game, that's it for points for this tournament for these guys. But F2K MyWay, very, very close to victory here. And what a series it's been for them as well, for both of these teams. And I just feel like this whole region in general is just looking so interesting. We're seeing a lot of these creative series happen. And I think the teams are ready to go now. Game number 3, 2-0 right now. F2K MyWay versus Creed.
I feel like if F2K MyWay take this, it's definite sign nerf Hunter. Just definite sign.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Nerf shooty fasty.
Yeah.
Dilly has no feelings. He's a hunter. Down with Dilly.
Wait,
kidding.
what?
I
Hunters
love
have no
Dilly.
feelings?
I'm kidding.
I'm
I love
excited.
Dilly.
I like this. F2K MyWay, they're playing jungle. We didn't see any jungles doing well. We got Hydra on his Discipline Priest. Let's big shout out to that. We're seeing Mistweaver Monks. We're seeing Discipline Priest. F2K MyWay, they're up 2-0. We're thinking maybe they do a 3-0. D-Machine thinks they're going to get reverse sweep here by Creed. Ashen Hollow trades out. Drainer looking to get really aggressive early on. Then we'll see what they can do. Mirror Images do trade out. They're actually just going after Hydra. Can they take him down? I say no. And it does look like Hydra will be able to survive with just the Rapture for now. Drainer into a double fear. And who are they going after? Saza getting absolutely crushed Can they dispel the ult for time? They do. He's getting low. Convoke trades out. Shimmer away. Drainer trying to heal through this damage, but Casu and Tony right now are just all over him. What an explosive matchup for both these teams.
I'm waiting for Creed to press the go button. Combust is available. Lasso goes out. It looks like they're going back onto Hydra. Pain suppression is going to be used. Is it going to be enough in this Hodge? Chunking down to half health there. They're switching it over onto Tony with that Meteor and Combust. Tony now down to half. Now he's getting aggressive with that Berserk. Here's the push in. The cross CC on Baka. Oh, the mage out of line of sight. Is he going to get Combust? Is he going to have that proc go off? It doesn't look like he is. He's so low. How is he not? He has the bot, but I would absolutely press block. I would be absolutely terrified. Tony needs to be careful now. His throughput is gone, and Hydra is now in a polymorph. He catches some defensives, but and he gets topped. Now they swap back to Hydra on every Hodge. I swear he could just go down here. No pain suppression available. He has the dome. He's not pressing it just yet. But oh my gosh, if I was Hydra, I'd be terrified.
Tony is getting a lot of value out of this game. I feel like Hydra is gonna need to like treat him to lunch or something after this game. Like he has saved him more times than I could count. Now Saza alone behind the pillar. Hydra trying to cast a Mind Games, likely on a Drainer. Huge damage onto Saza. Oh man, that Forgotten Queen's on 1%. Saza
He's on
not
fire.
stable.
He's on
Cauterize
fire.
triggers. He's melting. He's burning. He pops the Blazing Barrier. Drainer's trying to get Holy Power. Remember, Drainer's healing by himself as Prot, so all of that damage is going to be very scary. He's going to let targets get low and then pop them off with a big Word of Glory. Saza's still the target. Rapid fire coming in from Casu. They're on match point. They could close it out and knock the Prot Dream out of the tournament. Saza on the run in Vulpin form, trying to escape, but Tony's in pursuit. I think he's going to connect here. Is he going to trade block in time? Divine Shield from Drainer fades. They're running out of cooldowns. They're running out of options. There's no openings. They proc the Wild Seed. They need to kill the Wild Seed. Lightning Lasso and Tony, they're trying to stall for the Wild Seed, but there's not any way they are saving it. And F2K MyWay close it out 3-0, playing out of their minds on that jungle cleave. I feel like there was multiple matchups in this series where I was just outright counting them out. Like, this is impossible for them to win. And they did it. They pulled it off. 3-player roster. Hydra missed 2021. He's back. Someone
Put on Blue Stahali or whatever the name is. It's deserved. Not on this broadcast,
Ultranum?
copyright, you know. But Ultranum, absolutely. You know Ultranum was blaring that whole series. But yeah, as you can see, my prediction was 100% correct. And F2K MyWay are going to take the series, obviously.